Welcome to lesson 77, mass and volume. A couple things we need to talk about. We all have mass and we all have weight. And actually it's rather than mass and volume, it's mass and weight that we're talking about. But we need to talk about those two words. Mass is the amount of matter an object contains. It's not changeable. However, if we were to go to the moon, where the pull of gravity is different, we would still have the same mass, but we would have different weight. That's because weight is the measure of the force of gravity on an object. So you would have the same mass, but you would weigh differently if you were on the moon or another planet. And so we need to remember mass is constant, but weight depends on the pull of gravity. Now here on Earth, the pull of gravity is pretty consistent, but it changes as we leave Earth and go to other places like the moon. That being said, we need to talk about different ways that we measure weight. The first three are things that the United States uses. The rest of the world uses these two measurements in the metric system. But let's talk about what we are familiar with and what we use here in the United States. We use ounces, and I need to note here that there are 16 ounces, and we abbreviate with OZ. 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Or if I really want to abbreviate, the abbreviation for pound, don't ask me why this is LBS. And when we're getting into that, we have 2,000 pounds. LBS is pounds. That actually equals the measurement of 1 ton. And a ton can be abbreviated by this. Now, something that Saxon likes to do is it'll say the load of wood measured 4 ton. How many pounds was that? And you have to realize that each ton is 2,000 pounds. So if it was 5 tons, we would multiply 5 by 2,000 and we would get 10,000 pounds. 2,000 pounds is that's quite a bit of weight. So if you will remember that 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton, 16 ounces equal 1 pound, you should be set. Let's jump into metrics. A gram is about the weight of a paperclip, if I recall. Or a paperclip or two. It's fairly small, and we abbreviate this by saying 1G. 1G is a gram. Now, if we have 1,000 of these, we get the equivalent of 1 kilogram. And we can say it a couple of different ways. We can say 1 kilo or 1 kg. And so kilogram, the abbreviation is kg. And there are 1,000 grams in a kilo. And a kilo is not terribly heavy. I'm trying to think. It's about the weight of your math book. I like to bring in a scale to show you. If you have a scale, mess around with it. It's really fun to see how much are pounds and how much are kilos. When I'm cooking bread, I like to make loaves that are 600 grams. I measure out and I use 600 grams for my loaves of bread. And I like that. when Mr. Da was in Argentina, because the world uses this, he would go to the bakery and he would order 1 kilo of bread, or 1,000 grams of bread, and that's how they sold it. So if you want to try something fun, go to your closet and look, or go to your pantry and look at the measurements, the weights for your cereal boxes, the weights for things in cans, and it will have, generally speaking, a measurement for our US customary system and then a metric measurement. So I invite you to do that. I'm going to see you at the practice set where we can mess around with this more. See you then.